Happy Friday. We are going to make this kind of short and sweet today because I am by myself. I just wanted to kind of show you a new video that I put together for We the People on the We the People website because I've been working on the website. And so I wanted to show you that. And then I guess we'll see where we go from there. I don't really know. Today I was going to talk to Levi and I haven't gotten a hold of him. And that's okay. But we'll get him on again. I was going to have him on because, Michael's busy this week. So anyway, I was going to have him on to chat a little bit about what We the People is and what our mission is. And, I think right now, a lot of people are finding that they're not really with either Democrat or Republican right now. And I think people are trying to figure out how that works. We the People is a completely different way of doing things. And we're not like the other political parties. Like we are trying to, it's all corrupt. It's all needs to go. And that's what we want to do. We want to build it from the inside and change things. So I was going to show you this video and see what you think of that.
In Washington state, a new political player is starting to make some waves. They're called the We the People Party. And their goal is, well, it's pretty bold. They want to completely reshape the political landscape. So what are they actually all about?
And look, that's a totally fair question, right? In a system that's so dominated by the two major parties, you gotta wonder, what's the point of starting something new? For the We the People Party, though, the answer to that isn't just some talking point. It's the entire reason they exist. Every new political movement really kicks off because people are fed up with something. So to really get what the We the People Party is offering as a solution, we first have to understand the problem they think is just wrecking Washington's politics. And for them, it all comes down to a single idea: power.
And this quote, man, it gets right to the heart of their entire ideology. They're basically saying that power has been snatched up by political parties, by special interests, by this massive centralized system. Their whole mission, really, is to get that power back into the hands of regular people.
Okay, so this lays it out perfectly. It's a total clash of ideas. On one side, you've got this top-down system, controlled by a handful of powerful groups. And on the other side, they're proposing a bottom-up movement, where all the power comes directly from the community. This isn't just a small policy disagreement. It's a completely different philosophy on how politics should work.
All right, so if the big problem they see is all this centralized power, what's the fix? Well, for them, it's actually pretty simple: decentralization. They're not just trying to be another political party, they're trying to build a real movement, literally from the ground up. And when they throw around the term grassroots, they really, really mean it. We're not talking about a movement that's getting its orders from some faraway headquarters. The whole idea is to empower people in their own neighborhoods to grab the reins of the political process, one community at a time.
And making that distinction is a huge deal for them. By calling themselves a grassroots movement, they're drawing a very clear line in the sand. They're not just saying, hey, we have different policies. They're saying, we have an entirely different way of doing politics.
So what's the big picture here? What's the end game? It really boils down to these three key things: accountability, transparency, and local decision-making. And if you think about it, each one of those is a direct shot at what they see as the big failures of the current system. A system they'd argue has become unaccountable, secretive, and totally disconnected from the very people it's supposed to be serving.
Okay, so having big ideas is great, but a movement needs people, right? It needs action to actually get off the ground. So how can someone who's interested actually get involved with this We the People Party? Well, they have a few pretty clear options.
And they lay out a pretty straightforward path for anyone who wants to jump in. You can sign up as a member, you can donate to help fund things, or, and this is the big one, you can even take that huge step and run for office yourself. It's kind of the classic playbook for any new political movement, but you'd be surprised how effective it can be when the message starts to connect with enough people.
So when you put all these pieces together, you start to see the full picture. The We the People Party isn't just another name you might see on a ballot. It's really an invitation to be part of something that wants to completely rebuild Washington's political world from the foundation up.
And really, this whole thing opens up a much bigger question, doesn't it? The We the People Party might just be a local story right now, but it's part of a trend we're seeing more and more. As people get more and more frustrated with traditional politics, are we about to enter a whole new era of these kinds of grassroots movements? And if so, what could that mean for the future of our political system as a whole? It's definitely something to think about.
All right. So I love that video. I think it gives a really good explanation. Maybe we'll take a quick look. Michael and I were planning on going through some of our platform, and I just kind of redid it. So why don't I show you that? Because what we would like to know is what you think. We'd love feedback. And we would also love for you to, give us ideas on what you think might be missing. Put that. Oop, wrong one. Okay. So here's the new website. So it's got our explanation and everything. Now you can check out how to run for office. If that's something that interests you, if you would like more information, you can fill out this form and shoot us a message and let us know what you're interested in. See, this is just a little bit about us. Grassroots, citizen-led political movement built on transparency, accountability, and local decision-making. We believe the people of Washington, not political parties, not special interests, or centralized power of any kind, really. I mean, the people should be the ones shaping the direction of the state. Why we exist, different kind of political movement. We are trying to build this from the ground up. So local communities, local people, and fixing the problems that we have here at the local level, because really that's what really matters to us, right? So I wanted to show you though our platform as well. Okay, so 12% of citizens approve of the job that Congress is doing. Now, I should probably update these stats because who knows what it is right now. 95% of politicians get reelected every year. And that's really sad because some of them have been in there for decades and haven't done anything. And, a lot of them actually run unchallenged, right? They're completely unopposed. And those are the races that we really feel like we need to go after because we can win those races. I'm looking right now at what's going to be up in Pierce County where I live so that I can decide what I want to run for because I am feeling very drawn to make sure I do that. And then we can see how it works and what that's going to look like. So here's our platform. Democracy, accountability, and civic power. So, too many decisions are made with limited public notice. I don't know if you guys saw it. I posted it today, but a lot of what's happening right now, they're not interested in hearing from the public up in Olympia. The Democrats have zero interest in hearing us out. The initiatives that were signed, those are being green-lighted just to go onto the ballot. They are not holding public hearings. They actually are trying to force through a bill to, I'm sure to either limit or get rid of online schooling in some way, right? So it will no longer be an option unless you are disabled and, there's other reasons. But otherwise you have to attend public school. And that actually was, I believe it was read the 27th, and then comments for the public was the 28th. So it was introduced the 27th. Public comment was the 28th. How many people do you think showed up? Zero. Big fat zero. I did post that on our Facebook page and I believe on our X page. So if you want to find those and go in there and comment, and we need to let them know that this is not okay, right? We are not okay with them pushing us to the side as if it doesn't matter what we have to say. This is absolutely unacceptable behavior. And we should be writing every single one of our legislators right now to let them know, because I don't know. I don't even know how they can get away with that. Well, they get away with it because we allow them to. They get away with it because we don't speak up, right? We're online complaining all day long, but nobody makes the effort to, why don't we go complain to them? Complain to them directly instead of online to our friends, right? Like, let's make some let's get something going here so we can make some change. Transparency and integrity in government. Well, I'd say that's pretty lost. Obviously, transparency. Look at what they're doing to bypass us. Constitutional and civil liberties. This one is, I can't even believe that this is debatable right now, but constitutional rights are increasingly treated as conditions and subject to political convenience. That has to stop. That is no place in this country. That has got to stop. Health freedom, huge, right? We should absolutely have complete informed consent. Like, when they're hiding information from us and lying to us, and not okay. Healthcare. This was one that we've been talking about, and this is one that is interesting to me because I've learned a lot. I try to reach out to people who are smarter than me so that I can learn information about, how, we talk about people talk about universal health care and what does that actually look like, right? It's much different in other countries than it is here. When we talk about universal healthcare here, it's much different. And I don't know, I am totally not sure that it couldn't work here, right? As long as universal means everybody gets access to everything. If you want acupuncture, if you want a naturopath, if you want to go that route, that should be just as accessible as anything else, as your chemo and anything else that you want to get. All of that should be in there. But I really, truly believe that if we get rid of some of this corruption that's happening within the health area, that we probably could afford universal health care. That is a discussion to be had. Let's see. Education and parental rights. They are destroying our rights here as parents. They are taking them away. We get no say in anything that happens at the school. And it is absolutely unacceptable. Our teachers are teaching what they believe rather than educating students. That is unacceptable in my book. We should be teaching our children how to think, not what to think. So there's a big one. The economy and jobs. We're taxing companies out of this state and saying that's okay, or we're increasing taxes on the companies, and then they're leaving the state, right? But that's ruining jobs. Like, every time a company leaves, that's jobs gone, right? We can put those two things together. So we're increasing taxes. Companies go find cheaper places to hire people. What we're doing is not sustainable. Environment, agriculture, and land stewardship. This is a whole nother thing, because I'm not, we try to do things in my own house to try to be as sustainable as we can and self-sufficient in a way. And so, for us, the environment is very important. And I know that it is to everyone. There's just so many things that I believe that we're doing in the name of the environment that I don't believe actually help a darn thing. But, you know, these are all things that we need to discuss. Public safety and community well-being. Public safety policies are increasingly shaped by politics rather than community needs. This is one of those areas where it really does matter who are in those positions. You know, it really does matter that we get people in these positions that are local to the areas that understand and want the same things that we do. When we're voting for somebody or not voting, right? Like I know so often I go through and there's one person on the ballot. We're not challenging these things. We're just allowing what is happening that we're complaining about just to happen because nobody is stepping up to sing a different song. And that needs to change. So anyway, you can go to our platform and take a look at everything. Send us, right up here at the top, we have some notes. You can suggest some platform. You do not have to be a member. Don't worry. We're not going to pressure you or anything like that. And then this is another really important one, running for office. Let's take action. Let's get out there and let's make our voices heard in a way that will actually lead to change. So I suppose that's probably all I have today for a Friday for you on my own. So I hope that everybody has a great weekend, and I hope that next week is just a better week.